Hi, I'm Josh, and this is my top 20 Premier League prediction for this coming season. For me, Coventry will be at 20th. Um, they haven't been in the Premier League for 25 years. Frank Lampard's a championship level manager, and I don't think they'll be able to bring the type of players they need to help them stay in the Premier League. So for me, they will be 20th. In 19th, again, Hull haven't been in the Premier League for a few years, nowhere near as long as Coventry, but they still haven't been in it for a while. And I just think the type of players they'll bring in won't be good enough. I know they're going to be signing Leon Bailey, but he wasn't particularly that great at Aston Villa, and I don't think he did very well when he went out on loan. So um, for me, they will struggle this season. Um, 18th, I think Ipswich. I know they did okay at the beginning when they were in the Premier League a year or so ago, but for me, with McKenna moving on and also not really bringing in any players this summer yet, I think they will struggle. So they will finish 18th. Um, 17th, I have Newcastle. I think some people may um, be surprised by this, but I wouldn't be surprised just because they've lost Eddie Howe and also the likes of Tinali and Grimanes to Arsenal, Gordon to Barcelona. So for me, they're going to struggle this season. We don't know how good the manager is going to be that they've just brought in and some of the signings. So for me, um, they'll be 17th. Crystal Palace, again, new manager. They haven't really brought anyone in this window. I think one or two players, but they're not better than what they currently have. Also, I don't see them doing as well in the Premier League or getting any European football this season. So for me, I have them finishing 16th. 15th, Sunderland did well last season, especially at home, up until when Liverpool beat them. After that, their form just went downhill at home. They weren't performing and they were losing more games and things. So for me, they will not do as well. So they'll be 15th. I think Leeds will do okay this season. They're going to be signing James Trafford, who's a good level goalkeeper for a team like Leeds. I don't think he's like top quality or good enough for a top six team, but for a team like Leeds, I think he'll do well. And they've been missing a top goalkeeper for a while, so for me, that is vital. And also some of the players they'll bring in this summer, I think, will improve on last season. So um, I think they'll have a good season. 14th is good enough for them. And then 13th, we've got Everton. They haven't really brought in anyone this window. They brought in a guy from Middlesbrough who I believe is a good player, but for me, the Premier League has step up for him. Might take him a while to get used to the Premier League, and also I don't think David Moyes is a top manager. He's done okay with Everton, but I can see them struggling this season and them getting rid of him. So for me, I see them in 13th. 12th, I've put Brentford. They did well under the new coach last season. Can't remember his name, but I think they need to bring in a couple more players this summer. They've signed a very good holding midfielder um, last week, so one or two more additions, and I think they'll be fine. 11th, I've got Fulham. Got a new manager um, and some couple of new signings they made last week from Real Madrid. Two good young players. I think they need to sign a few more though, and it will take the new manager Arbeloa and some of those players um, to gel to the system and for the current players to get used to the manager's style of play. So for me, I don't think they'll start as well, but then once they've got used to everything, I think they'll do well to finish 11th. Bournemouth lost in the manager Areola to Liverpool at the end of the season. Um, I'm not sure how good Rose is as a manager, and I think they need to make more signings. They've not really signed many players this summer. I think they brought in one or two, ones I don't really know about. So for me, if they do finish 10th, I think that'll be a good season. Um, Ninth, Brighton. Again, they struggled at times last season, and the style of football, um, I think can get better. You have a good young German manager, but I think uh, the 2 seasons he's been at the club, they haven't been as good as other seasons. And I think a couple of additions they'll do okay, but I think losing Danny Welbeck to Chelsea was a big blow for them. So for me, I have them ninth. Eighth, I've put Forest. I think they'll do a lot better than they did last season. Have signed a couple of good players this summer, um, and they've managed, well, hopefully give Nico Williams a new deal. I know they're in talks to extend his contract. I think it'd be a good signing for Liverpool, who need a right back, but I don't think he'll go there. I think he'll extend his stay at Forest. Um, and yeah, one or two more additions. I can see them doing well. They'll get a European place next season. Villa in seventh. They lost Morgan Rogers this summer, which is a big blow for them. I think they still need to sign a couple more players, um, and I think again they'll be in European place this season. They won't get Champions League, but to get Europa League, I think will be fine for them. Um, in six, I've got United. Um, they've brought in a couple of midfielders this summer in Tillemans and Santos. Um, However, Tillemans can be prone to injuries, and I don't really know how good this Santos is as well. And also defensively, they've not. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but I think their defense will be better than last season. So for me, I think they'll get fifth. Fifth, you'll probably be surprised by my prediction, but I've put Spurs. I know they finished 17th twice the last 2 seasons with the players they brought in the summer, with Tonali, Fernandez, um, the central defender from Brighton, and also rumours of Cody Gakpo maybe going there as well. I think Spurs will have a good season and finish in fifth. In fourth, surprised this by myself, but I've put my own team, Liverpool, in fourth, just because we've got the experience of finishing in the top four. We haven't really bought anyone this summer. Obviously, we got the defender jacket in January, which was agreed for this summer, and we brought in Muniz, who no one's really seen play. And we still need a lot of other positions to fill. We still need a right back. We still need cover at left back. I personally prefer us to put Luke Chambers as the backup left back rather than what's his name, Timikas, who's not that good. Also, we need another central defender or two. With Van Dijk being 35 and not having replaced Kanate. Also, a holding midfielder is needed because Gravenberch definitely isn't one, and we need to improve in that area. And also on the right wing, we still haven't got anyone yet. Chiesa needs to go. There's a lot of work need doing, and if we are able to bring in a few players before the end of the window closes, which rumours going around of Barcola and another guy from PSG, as well as us being linked with Spence and maybe a centre back. Then I can see us finishing fourth. City, um, I've put third. I think with them losing Pep having left during at the end of the season is a blow for them. I think a lot of the maybe a few of the players may want to move on. I know they've lost one or two already in Silva and maybe Rodri leaving to go to Real Madrid. He's been linked with Barca as well today. So um, and they brought in a couple of good players as well. But I think they need to bring in a couple more, and I think Chelsea squad looks better than their squad at the moment. So for me, City will finish third. Chelsea, I've got second. New manager in Xabi Alonso, but for me, their squad, they've got a very good squad together for this season. They've got still got a lot of players they need to get rid of. Either ones who have been on loan or ones who just haven't been part of the squad over the last couple of years. I think they've got like 40 or over 40 players, so they've got a very good squad now. It might take time for them to gel at the beginning of the season, just because of the new manager and his formation and everything, and the number of players they brought in. But I think they're doing very well. I think they finished second, and then Arsenal. Don't really need to say much. They've made improvements to the squad by signing a couple of players, not big names really, but they need. They didn't really need big names. They don't really need that many players this summer. I think if they can bring in a couple of more, I think they need another right back or right back who can also play centre back because they've been linked with Kwanzaa. And if they can bring in like a striker or maybe a left winger, I think that'll be fine for them. But I still think they'll win the league regardless anyway, because they're too good, especially defensively. Um, the football's not exciting at all attacking wise, and I think if they bring in a couple of those attacking players that I mentioned, I think they will look a lot better. And I still think they'll win the league by maybe 7 points or so, maybe. And that is my prediction for the Premier League season.